Two neighbors live on the same street. Similar houses. Similar cars. Their kids go to the same school. From the outside, their lives look almost identical. One of them earns $105,000 a year. She has $2,400 in savings, $14,000 in credit card debt, and she hasn't contributed to her retirement account in 3 years. She checks her bank balance before every grocery run. She dreads the first of the month because that's when the mortgage, the car payment, and the credit card minimums all needs to be paid at once. The other earns $62,000. He has $18,000 in an emergency fund, zero consumer debt, and his investment account grows automatically every 2 weeks without him thinking about it. He sleeps fine on Sunday nights. The difference between these two people isn't income. It isn't luck. It isn't that one of them read a magic book about money. The difference is 7 boring, unsexy rules that the second person follows and the first person has never even heard of. Financial stability isn't about how much you earn. It's about how you manage what you keep. And most people get this completely backwards. My name is Graham, and I've spent an unreasonable amount of time studying what separates people who are financially stable from people who earn the same amount but feel broke all the time. Today, I'm going to walk you through the 7 specific rules that keep financially secure people ahead of everyone else, and why most people break every single one of them. If this kind of breakdown is useful, the subscribe button helps me keep making them. Let's start with the foundation. Rule 1. Pay yourself first, automatically. Financially stable people don't save what's left after spending. They spend what's left after saving. And they never rely on willpower to make it happen. The transfer is automated. It leaves their checking account the day after payday, before they can touch it. According to a 2025 Credible survey, only 38% of Americans automate their savings contributions. The other 62% rely on manually moving money when they remember, and most months they don't. This single habit, automating a fixed amount before you see the money, is the most reliable predictor of long-term financial stability. Rule 2. Keep a boring emergency fund. According to Bankrate's 2026 report, 24% of Americans have no emergency savings at all. Another 30% have some, but not enough to cover 3 months of expenses. That means more than half the country is one car repair or one medical bill away from debt. Financially stable people maintain 3 to 6 months of living expenses in a simple savings account. Not invested, not in crypto, not locked up in some complicated instrument, just sitting there, boring and accessible, in a high-yield savings account, earning a little interest while it waits. This fund isn't designed to make you money. It's designed to prevent one bad month from wiping out years of progress. Without it, every unexpected expense becomes a credit card debt, and every credit card debt becomes a hole you spend months climbing out of. Rule 3. Never let lifestyle match income. This is the one that separates the neighbor earning $62,000 with $18,000 saved from the one earning $105,000 with nothing. Economists call it lifestyle creep. Every time your income goes up, your spending rises to match it. New apartment, nicer car, better restaurants. You earn more, so you deserve more. And suddenly, you're making 6 figures and still living paycheck to paycheck. According to a payments intelligence study, half of Americans earning over $100,000 a year report living paycheck to paycheck. That's not a low-income problem. That's a spending matches income problem. Financially stable people treat every raise as an investment opportunity, not a lifestyle upgrade. If you get a $500 per month raise and invest it instead of spending it, that's $380,000 over 20 years at a 10% average return. That's the real cost of lifestyle creep. Rule 4. Use debt only for things that appreciate. Financially stable people draw a hard line between debt that builds wealth and debt that destroys it. A mortgage on a reasonably priced home? That's leverage. A student loan for a degree with a clear earnings premium? That's an investment. A car loan on a $60,000 truck you drive to an office job? That's wealth destruction disguised as a monthly payment. The Bureau of Economic Analysis reports that the personal savings rate fell to just 3.6% by the end of 2025. Meanwhile, total U.S. household debt hit a record $18.8 trillion. Most people are borrowing to maintain a lifestyle they can't afford with the income they have. Stable people do the opposite. They borrow less than they're approved for and pay off anything that doesn't appreciate as fast as possible. Rule 5. Know your actual numbers. Most people have no idea what they spend each month. They have a general sense. They think they know. But when you actually sit down and track it, the real number is almost always higher than you expected. According to a Lend.edu 2025 survey, 53% of Americans describe themselves as living paycheck to paycheck. But here's what's telling. Among those earning over $150,000 a year, 21% still say the same thing. Financial stability isn't about earning enough. It's about knowing where it goes. Stable people track their spending, not obsessively, but consistently. They know their fixed costs, their variable costs, and their savings rate down to the dollar. They can tell you, within $100, what they spent last month. Most people can't even get within $500. That gap between what you think you spend and what you actually spend is where financial stability quietly dies. Rule 6. Invest consistently, not cleverly. Financially stable people don't try to time the market. They don't chase hot stocks. They don't wait for the perfect entry point. They set up an automatic contribution to a low-cost index fund, and they leave it alone. The Spiva scorecard shows that over 15 years, more than 90% of professional fund managers fail to beat the S&P 500. If the people paid millions to pick stocks can't do it, there's no reason to think you can do it on your lunch break. Stable people buy the entire market, consistently, every paycheck. $200 a month into an index fund at 10% average returns grows into over $150,000 in 20 years and over $450,000 in 30. Boring works. Rule 7. Say no to financial peer pressure. This is the rule that ties everything else together, and it's the hardest one to follow because it's invisible. Every time you split a $200 dinner you didn't want, every time you finance a car because your coworker just got one, every time you upgrade your apartment because your friends moved to a nicer neighborhood, you're making a financial decision based on someone else's priorities. Most people spend money they haven't earned, to buy things they don't need, to impress people they barely like. Stable people have learned to separate what they actually want from what the people around them expect. This doesn't mean living like a monk. It means being honest about which purchases are for you and which purchases are performances for other people. The neighbor earning $62,000 with $18,000 saved drives a 10-year-old car on purpose. Not because he can't afford something newer, but because he ran the numbers and decided that financial security is worth more to him than what strangers in traffic think of his vehicle. That's not deprivation. That's clarity. And clarity is what every one of these 7 rules has in common. Remember the 2 neighbors from the beginning? Same street, same school, same cars. One earning $105,000 and drowning. The other earning $62,000 and thriving. The difference was never talent or luck. It was 7 rules. Automate your savings. Keep a boring emergency fund. Don't let lifestyle match income. Only borrow for things that appreciate. Know your actual numbers. Invest consistently instead of cleverly. And say no to financial peer pressure. None of these rules are exciting. None of them will go viral on social media. None of them will make you rich overnight. But they are the exact habits that separate people who feel financially secure from people who earn the same amount and feel like they're falling behind. Stability isn't built by earning more. It's built by breaking fewer of these rules. I want to hear from you. Which of these 7 rules do you already follow, and which one do you know you're breaking? Drop it in the comments. Pick one rule from this list. Just one. Start following it this week. Because financial stability doesn't require a bigger paycheck. It requires better rules.